You don't have your coffee?
Live. I know, we don't
I
have
should
any.
have gotten some water.
I know, do I need to get you some water?
Oh, not right now.
Well, good evening.
We have missed y'all.
I know, and to be honest with you, try to turn it down. I don't know who's going to get on tonight. That's the first time we've been live in a while, so it might be a little crowd, but we'll still get on. Thank you so much for coming on. I had to turn mine on vibrate. I couldn't remember how to even do it anymore.
It seems like it has been like a month.
Has it
been that long?
It probably. I think it's actually been longer than a month, hasn't it?
We've had some interesting weeks. I will say that.
Has it been longer than a
month?
Has it been longer than a month?
I don't know. It's been a while. We had several hiccups and then several things come up and then Jennings' little episode. I mean, it's just been like,
hey, Miss Rebecca. Hey, Fancy Farmer.
A bunch of different things going on.
It has been. So it's good to be back.
It really
good to be
is.
back. Sometimes I told Misty I get so stressed because we're running, and Wednesday. Why in the world we picked Wednesday back years ago? I don't know, but it seems like our Wednesdays have gotten busier or something falls crazy on it. So, yeah. But we are back, and hopefully we'll have a good crowd tonight.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you,
Miss Donna.
I don't know what you titled it or named it, but I'll tell you what we are.
We're really back live tonight. Farm is coming alive.
What we are really gearing up for, besides just spring endeavors, planning and stuff like that, planting, is the Expo.
It's coming up.
Okie home. I mean, it's like
a month.
It's like right around the corner,
We're speaking in a month. It's crazy.
I feel like it's easier behind the camera because you don't have everybody. You can't see everybody watching you.
That's supposed to change. That's supposed to change.
But we are really excited. I was telling Colby, I've been making like notes in my phone, and I would say that we are planners and like organizers. We don't wait till like last minute do stuff. So we've been like, I've been making notes, and I
got this big pictorial presentation. So hopefully it will work, and we'll put it all together soon.
And I was telling Colby the other night, we were talking, and I was like, I'm having to take like a little mini, what would you even call that?
Bunsen burner kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a propane Bunsen burner.
Well, it's not propane. I'm going to take the one that just plugs up. It's got the two little eyes.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Because every time we take that somewhere and do something with it, it literally, it'll die. It kills all power. You remember that? We've tried to use that even when we did the camper and everything. It always cuts power. It burns too much. You're going to take the butane.
Well, whatever I'm going to take, I'm going to practice on here because I don't want to get there, and I've never used it before. So I'm going to be doing a soaping class.
Hey, Pauline.
And I don't want to get there in front of a big crowd and
mess up.
my oil temperatures not do right because I've always heated up my oils on my stove. A hot plate. Yeah, there you go.
We can't use it.
The name wasn't coming to me. We might take it anyway. And then have the propane as the backup.
I don't think it's going to work.
We'll see. Whatever I'm going to use, I'm going to...
Hey, Miss Tammy.
I'm going to make a batch of soap here on that before we go because I've never heated up my oils any other way. So I told Colby, I was like, I need to see like how my temperature does. I don't know if they're going to heat like really slow or really, really fast. So
she's worried about the demonstration. And before we do the demonstration, we've got to talk.
I know I'm already going to be
talker.
I know I'm already going to be like probably nervous. So because it's so much easier to talk to you when everybody's not like looking at you back. So
that's what I'm saying, Dream Weavers. The hot plate, for some reason, every time we've ever used a hot plate, when we were camping, when we used to camp and things like that, even out here at our farm, we've used it and it always shuts off the power. It's like it pulls so much energy. And we have a generator, but our generator's you couldn't even speak over our generator because it's so loud. So I don't know if that's going to be an option. So we're probably going to do a butane.
Well, we're going to decide. I just got to see how my oils are going to heat up and all of that. So I was telling Colby, I was like, I'm going to have to get all that out and get all that done. So yes, we are really gearing that up, making notes, making presentations. We're going to be making packing lists soon. So we are super excited. Y'all, I saw today they put out $10,000 worth of giveaways.
Is that what they did?
$10,000. Y'all, they're giving away, I know, like a freeze dryer, which is several $1,000 just in itself. They have so many awesome sponsors. So many awesome sponsors, and so many of those awesome sponsors are going to be giving away their.
Hey, we're giving away some stuff too.
We are.
We're giving away some stuff too.
Not as cool as a freeze dryer, though.
No,
I've got to admit, that was pretty awesome.
I'm going to throw my name in for that. I'm trying to sell it. How about that?
So I saw, okay, and let me mention this. Dreamweavers is who I'm doing my next collaboration with, and we are doing a how to cook or what we eat in a week, cooking from scratch for a large family, and Dreamweavers is going to be doing for small families. So if you're not a large family and you watch us, click over on them, because she's going to be sharing tips and ideas and things for meal prepping and planning and preparing, organizing for just 2 people. So it's going to be very interesting there. 8 people to 2 people, and we don't have menus or anything. We're just doing for like what our family would eat in a week. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So I'm glad that they're on here tonight.
We can't show everything that we eat in a week, but it would blow your mind what a family of 8 eats in a week.
A lot.
So that's why it's so important for us to grow our own food, because we go through some kind of food. And between Misty and between all the cooking that we do, we're always in the kitchen. We're always cooking, and we're putting away some kind of food.
Yep. And then I want to say that I saw somebody ask how Jennings was doing.
Hey, Naked Gardeners.
Did I miss that comment again?
Yeah. Someone asked how Jennings was doing. So you can.
He is back to his little wild self.
It's crazy.
He has not missed a beat, running around everywhere and yelling. Yeah, we definitely don't have to worry about
Frenchie in Big Texas.
The airway obstruction anymore. We kind of figured that out by Sunday morning when you could hear him up the hall in the hospital.
Hey, Miss Tina.
We were making jokes about how the whole floor could hear Jennings in his room. So, yes, he is doing great. So much better. I really hated to put him on antibiotics, but it was just one of those things where it was a dire need situation. And he has finished all that course and did really, really well with it. And back to his little normal self. Now I'm working on healing his gut. We've been doing yogurt. We've been doing kombucha, some life culture type things to refeed his gut again. And, I know it'll take a little while for all that to clear out of his system. I've even thought about doing some detox stuff, but right now I'm just working on his gut and getting good cultures back in his gut right now.
Tina says my broilers' last supper is tomorrow, and then they go to freezer count Friday. I'm glad it's you and not me.
What goes to freezer count?
Broilers.
Broilers.
I'm probably guessing Cornish Cross. I don't know if it's Freedom Rangers.
I just told him
Jennings for Chin Chin.
I'm sorry, we're having kid issues. When we do things on the live and when we do videoing, it's like an act of Congress to get our kids to be good for just that little short time, especially for this hour.
We always try to wrangle them up. See, I'm getting distracted again. We always have to try to wrangle them up and entertain them so that we can turn the cameras on without
craziness.
Yeah. That's just part of having a lot of kids.
Cornish Cross. Sunday, I've got 14 chickens, 1 rabbit, and 1 turkey headed to freezer camp. They'll be the last little bit until late spring. So we have 2 hogs that we're going to be processing, and then we have those 2 are about, probably 400 pounds. We'll probably put 300 pounds. I don't know, 250 to 300 pounds each on each of them up. So we probably have about 500 to 600 pounds of pork going. We have 20 pigs on the farm right now, so we're raising a good bit of pork right now. So between them, we've got the beef. We're going to process some rabbits coming up in the spring. So we've got a busy spring too with harvesting.
We do. I am super excited about the pigs though, because we are in dire need of bacon.
Yeah, we're out of bacon pretty much.
So we do have 1 pig who is huge and he needs to go.
He's a monster.
Yeah, but we've
We've just been so busy. We hadn't had a chance to really get after it. But we're going to try to process this week and then break him down. So we should have some bacon by hopefully 2 weeks.
Well, how long will they let him hang?
We won't hang him. We'll just freeze him.
One we're gonna likely take.
Life. What's up, man?
One we're likely gonna take. One we're gonna do here in a few weeks with some
When we
help.
say take, I wouldn't say that. We're gonna get him scalded. So he'll be
killed, gutted, scalded, and cut in half.
Because this one's so big, I don't think we can do it. Plus, we can't scald on farm. So if we're doing our bacons and our porks and our hams,
a lot of it is just time. It's time. That is you're talking about hundreds of pounds of meat. 300 or 400 pounds of meat off those two pigs, and we just don't really have time for that.
Hey, Ivy Acres.
Because we have two ready at the same time. We bought them together and they're ready. So one would be a lot easier for us to take and just let them do that part. And then the other one skinning out. So it'll be kind of two different things, but
we're actually going to show a comparison because we're doing a skin out and then scald. We've always done scald. I used to skin out when we would kill feral hogs, but that time we were worried about sausage. Now we're trying to get the whole enchilada. We're trying to make sure that we're processing. So we're going to see how we do in skinning and trying to break it down into actual pieces versus when we scald and get it done. So it's going to be a little bit more.
It will be different, right?
So we'll do a video on that.
Jennings did like his happy. Thank y'all, and thank y'all for the wood.
Let's see. I missed one comment. I'm sorry. Have you tried freeze drying cheese or butter yet?
Well, butter is not one of those things that's really recommended because it is a fat, and they don't recommend butter, sticky stuff like honey, anything that's high in a fat content. It's not really recommended to put in the freeze dryer. Now, cheese, I did put some mozzarella cheese. It was already shredded mozzarella cheese in there, and it freeze dried amazing. So I put it in a Mylar bag, but I have not opened it up yet. It's been in there since probably the 1st of January, but I haven't opened it up yet. And a lot of these that I've done and just put up, we have opened a few just to kind of check and see kind of where we're at. And I have not opened anything bad yet. So over time, we'll slowly open those up kind of as we're replacing what we've already opened, so we don't just wipe everything out. So, but that's a good question. But butter, just for your FYI, butter was one of those things because it is a fat, is not really recommended for the freeze dryer, along with honey and other really, really sticky substances. Is not recommended in there. And it's only a handful of things. I think it's like 3 or 4 things, and pretty much everything else you can put in it.
We had 7-degree weather today. Rehab Life said we did too. We actually went hot. But what's so crazy in our area, we're having freezing temperatures in the morning. So our waters are frozen and it's miserable. And then we're literally cutting air on at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It's really crazy. Hey, Rosanna.
Yep, it's really warm in here now, but it was really, really cold this morning. So that's kind of what our springs look like until summer gets here. It's pretty
like
cold
a big storm
at night.
Tomorrow, so that's
pretty
about
cold
what
at night and early morning, and then really warm in the afternoon. So
yes, we planted. I see somebody said what they planted. We've got English peas. Y'all saw that in the video, but we've planted potatoes, onions. We actually are harvesting some of that and then replanting some of it. So it's been busy for us. We actually have a whole container over there full of tomatoes.
Tomatoes, yeah.
What are you looking at? I
was like, what are you looking at?
Tomatoes, girl. Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you?
Yes, we do have storms.
Yeah.
Here tomorrow that are supposed to be coming in. I think the worst of it is going to be north of us. So, just prayerfully
I'm burned out.
Won't cause major damage anywhere. Hopefully, they won't be as strong as what is forecasted.
Farmer and Adele Akers said, we were in the 50s today, tomorrow, high is 25. I know, isn't that crazy? That's what's terrible in our animals.
Yeah, it really is not good for your animals.
It's really
anybody's animals.
This year, I'm just burned out of cold. I told Misty I'm done. I usually don't care, but I'm done this year. Jason said we are still, so it must be cold there too. Hey Tim, what's up? Serenity Hill, how are you? Our goal, I hope that when we always get excited this time of year to start planting our main spring and summer gardens, but we always have to wait because we always have these crazy storms bringing cold weather. So we've got a little cold weather coming back in this weekend. It's not gonna be freezing, but my luck, as soon as we try to plant something that needs to not be freezing tolerant, we'll have freezing weather.
Yeah,
so
which it does help. We have,
yes,
of course, the greenhouse.
Hey, little feet.
But with us being out of town in March, we will probably put our stuff in the greenhouse right around that time and then wait until we get back to actually put everything in the ground.
It's kind of crazy because when we go to the Okie Homesteading Expo, that's actually like right when we hit major garden season. I mean, that's when we're really doing major planting. It's mid-March, so we'll be gone for those few days. So it's going to be we're going to have to hurry up and get to it when we get back. It's going to be crazy.
And we're spending a Saturday out at our local nursery doing they have a spring seminar, and we're going to be one of the speakers at that spring seminar. They do 2 seminars every Saturday for,
I don't know,
pretty much March and then a little bit into April. And they have different speakers that come in. They have some,
hey, we have a tour too in April, so it is a very jam-packed.
What would you call the professors, I guess, that you would call from, like, they get LSU, people from LSU and MSU come in. So when they ask us, which we spoke last year too, we were very flattered. So we're excited to be able to. They asked us back. They did. They asked us back. So we were super excited about that. Then we ran into the president of a local Master Gardeners, and we were actually eating for Valentine's Day, and she sat down. She was like, "Hey, are y'all cold being missy?" We were like, "Yeah." She was like, "Let me ask y'all something." So they want to come tour the farm, and that's going to be really exciting that we'll get to. She was like, "We really want our people to."
Thanks, little feet.
Dive more into the homesteading style. And she was telling us about, she had been asking some people about us, and she's like, "It is just something that I run into, y'all." So, and she did. It was something, they were sitting across from us, and she come to sit with us and ask us about a date, and that's going to work out. So we'll give a tour on the farm of like a group of like 60 people of Master Gardeners.
Master Gardeners. So here we are. We're not Master Gardeners.
I wouldn't say we're Master Gardeners.
So I'm anxious to see how that's going to go.
It'll be fun. And I told Colby, "Hey, we're going to have lots of hands to do lots of work."
And what's so cool is we're going back. She said we're trying to look at people who kind of go back to doing things in their roots. And I'm thinking, as a Master Gardeners group, you know, they're a lot about amendments, a lot about understanding extension services from universities. So to come back and watch us do things, I'm anxious to see how that's going to go, and how people are going to have that concept of us going back to using manures. And
I was just going to say, like, dumping my rabbit manure all over my onions today.
Versus the synthetic fertilizers that most people do. So it's
because that is very frowned upon in the
hey, Ms. Linda.
textbooks. Don't use manure on anything because it can contaminate it. But if it's done the right way, it won't. So, I used compost tea on my onions today, and I'm super excited to show y'all a system that I built with the rabbit manure. I briefly talked about it in one of the videos. I don't think that video has been released yet, but I'm excited to show y'all my system. And I actually finished it and tried it out today, and I really, really like it. So being able to utilize the rabbit manure and not just put some water in there and then dump it out, I felt like that was very wasteful because the pellets were not completely broken down. When I say pellets, I mean the manure pellets were not completely broken down, and they were just sitting on top of the ground. And during this time of year, there's just not enough rain to keep that constantly fed. So unless I could go in and till that into the ground where it could benefit the roots, I just don't have time for that. We have too big of a farm with way too much stuff planted, and I just don't have time for that. So I was trying to think of a system where I could keep that compost tea constantly going and being able to pull off of it. So I'm really excited to show y'all what I come up with and how I'm going to strain that off and be able to utilize it. And it's a continuous process, and I'm not wasting the manure. It's like constantly breaking down and making compost tea. So I'm really, really excited to show y'all that system.
Tim, yeah, so we're at 20 pigs too, and we actually have 4 mamas. Hopefully fixing
And
to deliver.
at least 2 of those are
close.
fixing to have babies.
Very
and
close.
Then one, I don't know about her. She didn't look like she was that far along the other day. Those are American guinea hogs that will be dropping.
So it's amazing because we went from the commercial hogs to now doing the American guinea hogs, and the way they rear their babies, and the way that the commercial hogs are just so intense, running around crazy, very garden over their babies. The American guinea hog are like, they'll be fine. It's so funny how they're so different.
Yeah, fishing is a great way to get out and relieve stress. Aiden actually went fishing today, and he caught a lot of fish.
He caught 7, he said. It was a warm day to do it.
He needs to start learning how to skin them out. He's plenty old enough to do that.
We need some fish. We haven't had fish in a while.
Yeah, he needs to definitely learn how to skin them out for sure. Being 13, almost 14, that's a good spring task.
Donna, I don't know. She said, I know this sounds nasty, but could you put rabbit manure in the old dehydrator and grind it into powder? You probably could, but what I would do instead of doing that, I would almost just mix it into a dry bed of topsoil or compost and break it down naturally through that way. Like, for instance, our beds, and I don't know if we put a little bit of, no, we didn't put that video out yet. So we rebuilt our beds back up, our raised beds where we're going to put our potatoes, all with compost and all. That compost was actually natural.
That would break it down probably faster though than.
But if you're putting in natural compost though, it will break down, and it also helps spread the manure through.
And I'll tell you this, not part-time permies, but not part.
What are you talking about? You're losing your marbles.
I'm mixing 2 channels up. The ones that come and tour here, not part-time permies.
No, they're in Michigan.
Permapastures. I was getting those 2 mixed up. Anyway, they have great videos on composting.
Yeah, real good.
And let me say
Billy
this.
and do really well on
it. We don't do ours the right way. Sorry, we throw all of our stuff in there. We turn it every now and then. We don't do the checking temperature, making sure it has this much of this, keeping it turned X amount of days.
Time.
We just don't do that.
We do turn it, but it's not.
If we had time to do it right and get the temperature up to where it's supposed to be, it would break down within a matter of weeks. We just don't have time to make sure there's enough brown to green, to make sure there's enough water, to make sure it's turned.
But it does look good when we put it out.
It does look good, but we can build our piles up over months and then utilize it all and then kind of like start over to where if you do it the right way and you have all of that time to really put into that, it would really break down faster. For us, it's like we have so many irons in the fire already. To baby it, that's just like the last thing I can do right now.
Honestly, when you saw the video, this last video of us going and getting the hay and putting the hay over by the cows, by the deer paddock, that's where our compost is.
Right, that big
so
dirt
every
pile
time, anytime we take our tractor over that way, we're always turning. So instead of turning it weekly or every 2 or 3 days, we'll usually turn it every 2 weeks or so and flip it over, and it's
maybe
gorgeous.
Not even that much.
But we put all our old manure, old spent hay, and any fertilizers that we're not utilizing or old dirt that just needs to be repurposed, we'll throw in there. Do you use horse and cattle manure? Okay, so what we do is we do use horse and cattle manure, but not as much. I mean, we have used it in our gardens, but because it's a hot manure, especially with the cattle, most time what we'll do is run over it with our harrow and break it down the fields and let the fields use it more.
But I'll tell you what I did last year in our sweet potatoes, and I'm glad y'all brought that up because we ate sweet potatoes tonight. But I'll tell you what I did when I first planted those. I went out into our pastures where they had rotated
You're right,
like
Jennifer.
weeks before and got the driest, crumbliest patties that I could find. And I scooped them up and I dug holes in that sweet potato bed and I literally put that in there and then watered the heck out of it. And our sweet potatoes were absolutely beautiful. We actually ate some tonight with our supper. So that is one way that you can utilize it. I mean, I just went out and found y'all know when you go out, you can see a fresh patty from an old patty. I mean, it is very obvious. And I just scooped up several and put them in the wheelbarrow and just kind of broke them up with a shovel and went and mixed them in my sweet potato bed.
Just remember, anytime you use chicken or cattle fertilizers or manure, just make sure you're very careful with it because it does tend to, it is a hot manure, so it can burn. It can,
I mixed
it can be hard on
in with our lettuce stuff. And even though we had a good lettuce season this year, I did. I
think we're slowing down. Are we buffering? We're buffering on my phone. It might just be my phone. Are we buffering? Are y'all getting buffering? I think we're okay. We're back okay. Yeah, so now that's one thing about the rabbits that's been huge because it is cold manure, so we've been able to really utilize it a lot better. And I think we realized how important rabbits are to our farm. We have a video coming out on that. I think that we realize more and more how important they are now than we've ever thought. And so we have a good video coming out on that, by the way.
Did I talk about my...
No, it's coming up.
Bucket system in that video?
In that video, yeah.
Did I talk about it though? I think I mentioned it.
You mentioned it. Mm-hmm.
But I can't wait to actually show y'all my system. I went out and used it today and I was like, man, this is easy. It's nice. And I might do a bigger scale of it. I don't know. I'm going to keep what I'm doing right now because I like it. It works. But the more monies we have, the more manure we get. We have a ton of
Miss
stuff.
Tammy.
A ton of stuff that could use that. So there's lots of options there. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'll leave it at that. No spoiler alerts tonight.
So hey, something exciting, and we can tell y'all because y'all are a fun group and always our core. But we are actually looking to start some a smaller version of a podcast. We are going to keep it on the main channel. We're going to probably do once a week. We're going to try to be a little bit more kind of like this, kind of like our live settings where we have no agenda. We just start talking and pretty much go way off subject. So it's going to be like a 10 or 15 minutes.
Our last one was pretty good.
Yeah, if I can get it actually put together. But about 10 to 15 minute podcast. So we hope you enjoy that. It'll be something fun to enjoy. We're going to try to do those as premieres.
Yeah, hopefully our first one I thought was pretty good.
We're going to try to do them as premieres so that way we can talk during them too. So. Jesse, Bobby, do you use pig manure? I'm not opposed to using pig manure. What we use, though, if we're going to use pigs to till up a garden spot, we'll let the manure just be dropped there.
Our pigs are actually forest raised.
Yeah, now they are. They were more preparing gardens. But what we do with those is we'll pretty much let them go into. It's kind of like the cattle and horse. Wherever they are, they're making better quality soil. So we try not to mess with that, and we try to use our smaller animals to actually be the manure providers for our gardens.
Yep. But I will say, the commercial breed, the Hampshire Yorkshire mixes that we have are not as diligent about pooping in the same spot like our American Guinea Hogs. Yeah. They have like a designated area that is like their bathroom area. So if we wanted to go in,
Kathy, how are you?
If we wanted to go in, yes, it was great being able to see her come on tonight. I was going to say, hey, a minute ago, and then I got sidetracked talking. But if we wanted to go in and actually get their manure out, we could, because they have like a designated bathroom area, and they've always been like that. It's amazing to see the difference in the two breeds, because they're alike in a few ways, but then there's a lot of ways that they're really different. And that's one of the main ways I would say is they are very diligent to go into the bathroom in one spot.
Yeah, no offense to anybody that does two separate channels or jumps over to a podcast platform. we're just going to do ours on our YouTube. It just makes it easier for us to have that one platform to where we're really, I mean, don't get me wrong, we have Facebook and things like that, but really we're trying to focus on YouTube only. So our podcast will be part of our YouTube channel. We'll do just one a week usually.
Yeah, and we're going to do sections where we kind of focus in on specific topics. And I felt like that's kind of where we went with this last one. We kind of really focused in on a specific topic and talked a lot about that. So
we're going to see how it goes. We want to hear from y'all, though, once it comes out. It should be coming out. We're going to try to do them probably on a weekend. We're going to try to set a day for them. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, Miss Kathy, actually, Daniel Arms has got a really good one that's going on, him and his wife. I think they do a really good job. I think the podcast and lives, one thing about podcasts and lives, I think they make it more, they make you more personable, I guess you can say, versus just the regular video. So, I mean, I want to show you how-tos. We would love to grow our channel in how-tos or evergreen videos and also show our family like we did this last video. However, we want to enjoy time with y'all too. So we like feedback. So if you could tell us what you like and what you don't like, that'll help us for sure know what we need to do next. Hey, Miss Patty, what's going on? All right, so let's see. Did we get
Little
all
Feet
that?
Farm said they're getting rabbits this weekend for poop and food. Yeah. And so that's one of the things we talked about in our video was the versatility.
I don't need you busting our video.
Of using
We're gonna
rabbits.
Man. Big Dave's not on here, but he would be blowing and getting mad at you right now. Hey, Leslie.
Well, you talked a lot about even more specifics. I was just saying in general.
Leslie England says, just started watching your channel. Just love it. Keep it up. I'm learning. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank
you for subscribing. We've had an influx this last few weeks, so we're enjoying this. Thank you all so very much.
Yep.
Let's see what else was said. New Zealand and Silver Fox. Little Feet, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what we have. We had a mix of some rabbits that were kind of given to us, and now we've become like rabbit enthusiasts, but I couldn't tell you one breed. I know it's a New Zealand cross, but know nothing about it.
Just went out and separated the babies from their mamas, which was a little later than should have been, but we got it done. And I could not, we were thinking.
Did you know these bunnies multiply pretty quick?
Yeah, but that's not what I'm going for. Okay, listen. We were thinking that we had 2 boys and 2 girls. Well, come to find out, I was like, I'm fixing to find out what these rabbits are, because we had one that had rabbits and then the other 3 didn't. And we were like,
so much.
This girl just didn't have her babies.
We were fixing to kill her.
So I said, I'm fixing to find out what we've got going on. We didn't even know what the bunny babies were. So I was like, I'm fixing to find out one way or another. Colby wasn't home at the time. And I was like, I'm getting these pens set up and I'm fixing to find out what we've got. So I flipped those babies over and got to feeling, and I was like, okay, this was a boy, this was a girl, this was a boy, this was a girl. I got all that figured out, and I was like, all right. We know mama is a mama. I checked the other 2. I was like, all right, yep, they're definitely boys. And I was like, all right, come here, girl. What's the deal with you? The girl wasn't a girl. The girl was a he, so no wonder he couldn't have babies.
They were like getting there, and they just duke it out. I'm like, this is not normal. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And I kept saying, Colby, she is crazy. Like, I can't put her in with the males because she's trying to kill them, actually. So we've been going over to Ridge Life. He is a really good friend of ours. And I had been like, shooting some ideas with him. One of them had mites in their ear, and he was kind of telling me what to do, kind of guide me along, of telling us how to treat that naturally and stuff like that. So I was telling him, I was like, look, she's literally trying to kill him. And he was like, well, maybe because she had some of the mites going on, maybe she didn't want to be bred, try her again. Dude, put that rabbit back in there, man. They were going at it. And I was like, he's fixing to lose his stuff, because that's what happens is, and we were always told to take the female out and put her in with the male, because if you put the male in with the female, she will try to attack him because she feels like he is invading her space. So if you take her out and put her with the male,
thanks for checking.
That she is more likely to submit and he can do his thing, and then we can have babies. So I would put her in there. Let's use the proper terms here. I would put the bunny in there, and they would just go at it. And I was like, look, she just won't breed.
We're
Like,
doing something
she
wrong.
is about to take his stuff out, because that's what they do. She will literally castrate. That will happen. Females will castrate the males. And he was like, you just need to put her in a pot. So that was kind of our plan, since we thought she couldn't have babies. But it comes to turn out that she was not a she. She
So
was
now
a he.
we actually have a bunch of males. We actually, the last 3 babies we had, 2 were males?
Out of the
One?
babies, we have 4 babies.
No, 3 babies. 3 babies plus.
That's
Lola.
right, 3 babies. 2 were girls and 1 was a boy.
Okay, I thought
So we had the 3 males, original males.
Right.
The one that I thought
So
was
now we have a 4th male. So we have 4 and 4.
4 males and
3 females.
3 females,
3 females,
because
7.
the 2 babies and then the mama.
Okay, yeah. I tell you, I don't know.
So it was pretty interesting. But
Patty, I'm gonna be honest with you. On a big scale farm or on a big
Rabbits are
scale
perfect.
homestead,
rabbits are really perfect.
I love our cows and all. But if you say the best, rabbits are awesome. I can't give. I have a
Look
great
for
video
the
coming
next
out.
video.
Yeah,
We
It's
break
not,
down.
It might not be next. It might be
a few
days.
videos
Yeah.
from now.
But I'm just telling you, the rabbits are awesome.
It really breaks down into detail. There's a lot of cons to pros when you're looking at rabbits for many different reasons. And Colby will. What?
Cons to pros. You mean pros to
Pros
cons?
to con? Yeah, that's what I meant.
She's gonna blow it.
There's
Blow it.
a lot more
Goods.
pros than cons when you're talking about rabbits.
off
Goods
tonight.
and bads.
We gotta work on that. We gotta work on this.
I think I've had too much
I
chocolate.
think you've had way too much chocolate. I don't know what it is. There's more pros to cons. We love the rabbits.
So that's what I meant. So, and we kind of break that down, or Colby really does, breaks it down. I was cleaning out the pen that day, wasn't I? I think I was
so.
cleaning out the pen and you were talking. So anyway.
Hey, we're Polly Shorts. Welcome. Yeah, so I think the rabbits have been a fun part of the farm. I really have enjoyed it. Tim, I think you nailed it. I think you're exactly right. Man, we're gonna blow our video before it actually comes out.
Yeah.
And Jennifer's saying it too. It really is a good video.
It's gonna be a good video. It definitely is.
I know we're gonna act like the rabbit. She's gonna knock me out like the female does the male, but I'm telling you, she is off tonight. She's struggling on her words. It might just be me. I don't know. What do you feed your rabbits? We feed them organic alfalfa. So we were feeding them before, just like a rabbit feed.
Well, they come here on that,
Yeah, on a
so
rabbit
they were
feed.
used to that.
So we kind of helped. We kept feeding them feed enough to get them used to
comfortable here in
with
their
alfalfa.
new environment.
So now they're on pure alfalfa.
And then we slowly
Incorporated
it until we got them off of it.
A lot of people say you know Timothy may be a better quality grass feed for them, but we have alfalfa because our family milk cows have go with alfalfa, our jerseys. So for us, it was just one of those things that we just instead of buying another feed, basically, we just went with alfalfa.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. We have volunteer lettuce all over the yard. So it's really easy for me to go pick them volunteer lettuce, Brussels sprouts growing literally right beside the rabbit pen.
Yep.
And I will go out and break a few of those leaves off of the Brussels sprouts and feed our mama rabbits, because actually the day that I separate them in their pens and figured out who was who and what gender they were, I went ahead and put all of the girls with a male, and except for the baby male, but all of the big males. So the first Monday in March is very possible that we might actually have a whole lot of baby bunnies.
And again, I'm thinking here we are. We're just gonna have piglets, possibly a calf or two, and rabbits, and we're going to Oklahoma for a period of time.
Hey, we have an awesome farm sitter, though.
Crazy.
He will take care of the farm.
It is going to be crazy. And see, we're taking the kids. At first, we were going to leave the kids because that was going to help, with Aiden being around the farm. But now they're coming with us, so it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Fun times.
But I don't remember what I was saying to say all that about the babies, but anyway. What
You
was
better get
that?
some
Where
chocolate.
was I saying?
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you're going with that one. All right, what comments did we miss while you were talking about the babies or something, whatever you're talking
I
about?
don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. They all should be bred, and we should be having babies. If the babies are old enough, and they were born
They
mid
may be.
November, they should be mature enough. That's one of those questions I need to shoot to Tim and ask him, because in my thinking, I'm like, if they're mature enough, their bodies are going to know it, and if they're not, then
Jennings is
I was
doing
just
well.
joking.
Jennings is doing well. He's actually kind of back to his normal crazy self.
Yep.
He is definitely our him and Sailor are, I'd say, the most personality, and Jennings just adds a loudness and craziness to it. So he's back
That's
hanging out.
where I
enjoying it.
was going with all that. So the green scraps, I use a lot of the green scraps from around out in the yard. And I usually give those, I was giving those to the mama bunnies, but now since the babies have been with males, I have been giving the baby females green scraps as well, because I want to make sure that they are getting everything that they need while they're carrying lots. I mean, they can have like a lot of baby rabbits.
I hope so, Miss Perry. Hopefully that'll work out. We didn't realize, I guess, when when they first talked about the Okie Homestead and Home Expo, it's been a long time ago, I mean, months ago. They were just hoping to see that it do well and have a chance to grow. This thing has went crazy big. Have you seen the list of sponsors? We're not really anything special on the speakers, but they've got some great speakers alongside us that are going to just knock your socks off. So we're excited to be there.
$10,000 worth of giveaways.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. $10,000 worth of giveaways.
I'm excited to meet a lot of people. I'm a little nervous just because we got to speak in front of all you crazy people, but I'm a little nervous. But we're gonna have fun with it. It's gonna be fun. I told Misty I'm gonna get laryngitis right before we go, so then she's got to do all the speaking. I'm just gonna stand there and wave.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. I would have a heart attack. I would not.
It's gonna be Pryor, Oklahoma, Miss Kathy.
It's actually gonna be close to 9 hours drive for us.
Yeah, it's a pretty good chance way.
Yeah. I think his Cock Hill's got a little bit longer of a travel than us, though, coming from Alabama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, there's been some kind of trolls on tonight. Thank y'all, moderators, because y'all are catching away before I am. So thank y'all so much. Hey, old lady Delaney.
I don't know. I'll look. When I was in college, this is a funny.
Thanks for sharing.
I was in college, and my very first speech I had to do in front of the class.
C-Reb life, man.
I went and I got done, and I sat down back in the desk, and there was a gentleman, an older gentleman. He was older than I am. Turned around and said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I guess." Why? He was like, "You're like solid red." And I was like, well, I can kind of feel it, because I felt like I was going to pass out. And that was only like 30 people, but I was up there by myself. And I don't like to be on stage anyway, much less by myself.
This will be fun, though. We're going to have fun with it.
Yeah. Colby was trying to buy a gun to shoot y'all with. Not really. What? The shirt gun.
Oh,
the shirt gun. What are those things?
You can't say that kind of stuff on YouTube. Golly.
What are those little things called?
A t-shirt gun.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, I told y'all to shoot at y'all. I shouldn't have said shoot y'all. To shoot at y'all.
Can't say that kind of stuff. I'm finna be banned. See y'all later. Bye.
He looked at them. He was like, "Oh, they're like really expensive." But he was going to try to shoot shirts at people.
A t-shirt cannon. That's right. They actually have one that's like
I knew it
rubber.
Wasn't called a gun. I knew it was called something
you're the one saying about shooting people. Golly. They have one that's like a rubber band.
Shoot stuff at people too.
Tim said last live. It's pretty funny. So we're fisting to you got me all confused. So they make a rubber band version of it. But then I was thinking, dang, if we buy that one with the rubber band, that means I have to have 2 people on stage. And I'm thinking Misty and Aiden could do it, but then who's gonna watch all the other kids? So I don't think that's
You have
gonna
to
work
have
either.
2 people to do it.
No, that's not for the t-shirt cannon or the gun you said, but I'm talking about there's like a rubber
That's
band
what I was
version of
saying.
it.
What is it called? I don't know what the thing's called.
Well, the t-shirt cannon's cool because you can shoot it, but the big rubber band version, you got to have 2 people on the sides. It just ain't gonna work. I thought, Amanda, I actually have thought about a potato gun to see if that worked, but then I was like, man, that could be dangerous. I'll spray hairspray and actually shoot a t-shirt and knock somebody out. And I thought that would be that wouldn't work good. For
We thought about it. We did look into it. And when we saw the prices, we were like, oh, that's kind of expensive to use one time. So
yeah, I have to use it a lot. I'd be on videos just shooting cows with t-shirts. Hey, Teresa, how are you?
Shooter rabbits, everyone.
Yeah.
So, but we do have some little happies that we're going to be bringing. And
it's like a big slingshot. The cheaper one's like a big slingshot, but I'm thinking, is it cheaper because it actually work and save money, or is it cheaper because you can't control it and then take somebody out with it? So I don't know. I'm a little worried about that.
Oh, good. Look,
Good, Regina. That's awesome.
How far away would you be? How far away are you?
Yeah, Tim. I thought about it. I was like the Oprah thing. You get a shirt. You get a shirt.
What?
I was laughing at a comment.
Oh.
Oh, Thomas was going to say, I need to check your water. You need to check Misty's chocolate. She's kind of on one tonight. I know that would be my problem. I think I would hit somebody with a t-shirt. I thought about doing everybody yell and then nobody yell, and then I'd feel kind of awkward. I'd just throw a shirt to somebody.
Yeah, and you could just throw one. Just throw several out there.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on
how far it is. I'm going to throw it like the first row gets in there.
We really don't know anything about the arena. I wish there was a way that we could do like a virtual tour of it to see kind of like the layout.
Well, when we go, we're going to go early Wednesday because we're there for all 3 days.
Yeah, but
so
that wouldn't be enough time to decide if we had to have something longer than an arm throw. But anyway, I was just saying if we can get like a visual.
More shirts, to be honest with you. We have like 3 or 4. We need to order more.
We could do another. We
need to do another.
We need enough interest though, because the lady that we order from, she doesn't like to do shirts unless we have like a good number. So, and we try to do local. I know there's tons of companies out there, but we really try to support our local people around here. And there's been a lady that we've used. She makes amazing shirts. One says, "This is how we roll," and it's got like a wheelbarrow with vegetables in it. It's super cute. And then one says,
we designed them all too.
Yeah, one says, "This is how we roll." One says, no. One says, "Just be you," and it's got a picture of a honeybee on it, and it's like a mustard color with
"Will work for food."
Will work for food. That one is my favorite. It's like a mint green, and it says "Will work for food," and it's got
kind of like a cornucopia.
Vegetables. It's really cute too.
Hey, Miss Kim.
So anyway,
we'll see. We're gonna throw a lot away and then just give them away too. Hey, Walker Farm fam, what's up? Enjoyed your last video. See your little feet. I know it's like a troll convention. You're right. I'm glad we have moderators on because it has been nuts.
Yeah, we usually never get.
We're not cool enough to have
moderators. We usually never get trolls. So yeah, but we are super excited. Speaking about the expo, it's going to be fun. As long as Colby's not shooting anybody.
Yeah, don't start that conversation again. I'll be banned again. I don't even know. We're talking like this video is probably going to get kicked off YouTube anyway or demonetized because y'all better give a lot of money on different videos. Don't do it on this one because Misty just got us kicked off YouTube, by the way. Oh gosh, too much. Put that chocolate away. Yeah, we have a lot of trolls tonight, so thank y'all again for hitting those up. Mark, hopefully you stay here. Hey, Latoya, you guys are moving on up. You've got the troll status. I know, it's crazy.
I wouldn't say moving on them. I think sometimes when they find one to start trolling, it's like they have like 100 different
You can't
accounts.
stop them, man.
I can't figure out how they can get from one account to the next account.
I'm not
so
smart
quick.
enough on YouTube to do it.
I am not.
Jesse,
either.
you're going live when you're there. I don't know. We'll be traveling in on that Wednesday, so I don't know if we'll have time that night. We are going to film a lot of it.
Walker
of course,
Farm Fam is here.
Yeah, they may do a live feed or someone
and
may
that's
do a
what
live
I
feed.
was going to ask, if there's going to be a live feed, or maybe if they're recording and maybe releasing later. I don't know if it's Cassie on here. If it is, she might can answer that for you.
I know Walker Farm. That is the craziest thing. So when we meet people like Grammy Karen, we were talking about Grammy Karen and the Stivers when we saw each other, talked to each other all the time on YouTube, and then when you finally meet somebody, it's like you already know them, but
like
then you really you haven't never seen them.
Well, and that's what's so funny about.
And
I mean, you look at like the Hollywood stars, and like you see them, you feel like you know them after you watch their movies for so long, and then they're like, I don't know you. But then it's kind of the same way on our end, for our viewers that we've never been able to meet. We know a lot of them by name because we reply to all the comments. But at the same time, it's like they feel like they know us because they see us, they hear us talk, they know our personalities, but we really don't get to know them because we don't get to watch them and stuff. So it is fun to be able to go to these type things and be able to like meet people in person. So that'll be fun. We're excited about that.
I don't know if our videos have gotten any better over the last few years, but I know our editing skill set's probably gotten a little bit better because we went back and watched a lot of our old videos and I almost get embarrassed watching them. I'm thinking, what are we doing?
Especially just from like
hey, Johnny,
the different angle.
Hey,
like I feel like we do a better job of like trying to get things from different angles and not just being like holding a camera and you only have like one view. So I feel like that.
Yeah, Miss Regina.
We are able to think outside of the box a little bit more. Hopefully, if all the channels can video a little bit, everybody can kind of get a taste of what's going on.
That'd be really cool.
Yep. So we are really excited about that. I think I get more excited of being able to go out and meet people and talk to people than I am getting on stage. I would rather like go out and talk to people.
Yeah, I think I'm excited. I'm gonna be really excited once I get our talk over.
Taco.
Yeah.
I've already told him, I was like, look, you've got to do most of it.
And I'm gonna be talking. She's gonna be like sitting over there, and I told you I'm gonna lose my voice.
I'll be over the PowerPoint.
No, I'm gonna lose my voice. I'm like, look,
I'll be over the presentation.
All right, Claire says, really enjoy your videos. Love growing gooseberries in the cottage garden, but we get a lot of rain here. So they flourish.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like elderberries here. They flourish here, and they do really good. So I'm hoping that I think we've said this before, you got to grow where you're at. Mm-hmm. So to me, what makes it thrive well where you're at, you need to learn to grow it. We have a lot of people that we are friends with in Michigan and Kentucky, and it's amazing how our grow zones are so different. However, whatever can grow and thrive and optimize your garden spots, which we're going to talk a little bit about while we're there, that's where you need to grow. I mean, for us, we grow a lot of something because it grows well here. I mean,
we talk a lot about
things like that.
We talk a lot about that in our podcast too. So, yeah.
Thanks, Walker Farm Fam. I hope we don't. I hope we do. I feel like I'm like stuttering or something like that, and all of a sudden just mess it all up. So
Kelly, elderberries grow very well in our South Mississippi area as well, especially in wet areas. I actually just went out and got a lot of cuttings. Stacey, let me just stop right now and answer your question because I've seen it come across 3 times and I can forget to answer it.
Get on to it, Stacey.
The cheese, I've seen it come across. I've been on something else and have not, then I forget about it. The cheese, so as I let it sit, it did get a little bit of mold. I was told by our mentor to do a salt brine and clean it off and soak it in the salt brine, which y'all saw me do a little bit. Then I waxed it. It has to stay in a 50-ish degree cheesecake for 3 months. So we are probably just now coming up on a month. So I will
Sam.
not pull that out. How do you know that, Sam? That might be my friend Becky.
Hey, Sam or Becky.
So I won't
Stay
know.
focused.
I won't know about the cheese for a little bit longer. It's I have to let it age for 3 months. In a whole nother batch. It is just so time consuming. It literally takes all day to do it. Then it has to dry for several days. Then I have to wax it. And then you have to wait 3 months.
Boom. I was right. Hey, Sam.
Hey, well, I got to talk to Becky today, so whatever.
So it is hard cheese. So we've
Right.
enjoyed that.
So
Misty
it has
did make
to
a,
age.
She did make a soft cheese the other day, of course, cream cheese, and she's been using it around the, I guess, in recipes that she's been doing. Have you
Back
used
to my
any?
elderberries. No, I have not yet. Back to my elderberries. I just took some cuttings. So now is the time really to get cuttings and root them.
In our areas, on
In our area,
Yeah,
yes. So you really want to get them before they really kick off their growing, right before they kick off their growing. Or for here, ours just started putting leaves on. So I went out and got a lot of cuttings. Actually, some of that's going to be in the video.
We do, Miss Kathy.
Put them down in water. There is in a certain spot you need to cut your cuttings, and it's really, really easy to do. And I just did all that. And then I have on our Facebook page, I have a picture that I put of the cuttings
True, Mr.
of
River.
last year's cuttings that are in a pot that have been in the
Thanks,
pot
Miss
for a
Vicky.
year, and then my 2 to 3 year old humongous trees. I love to see that progression. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of work, but it was work to put them in each one of their steps. But you can see
If you have a chance to do any cuttings, elderberry is one of the easiest things to take cuttings off of.
Yep.
And people don't realize how important elderberries are to us.
Yep. Huge benefits using elderberries. So I said elderberry tree. They're actually called elder trees, and the berries are elderberries.
That's cool, Amanda.
So,
yeah. Let's go for trees. I've heard people do it, old lady Delaney. We've never done it, but there was someone we knew that had a really flourishing fig tree, and they took cuttings of it. We've never had good luck. Well, actually, this year is our first year that we've seen 2 of our figs really grow well, and it's because we put them next to our chickens. I mean, that's really it. When we put them in kind of our orchard area, what we call our orchard area, they just don't do good because it stays wet. We have a very wet soil here, especially where we live. So they haven't done well, but we put one kind of close to where the runoff is from one of the gardens and one where the runoff is from the chickens, and they've done really good.
Miss Vera, no, they didn't. I just cannot get that mulberry.
Are you talking about the mulberry?
Yes, I was answering Miss Vera's question. I just cannot get those mulberry trees to root from cuttings.
We do, Kelly.
I tried 3 different techniques, and they did not work for me. Now, I did have somebody a while back mail me roots that they dug up from small wild trees that were growing in their pasture, and those took off. They dropped them down in pots and let the roots soak and then mailed them to us. And I got those in soil just as soon as they got here, and they have grown. They're huge now. But cuttings, I cannot get the mulberries to do from cuttings.
Donna, they do grow in every zone, but there's different versions and varieties of elder. Right. So know your variety that does well, especially if you're buying some. So like we grow a certain variety here that is very much native here. And just like Miss Patty says, she's from North Mississippi. They're like weeds here. They grow really good. However,
especially around ditches.
We know somebody that lives in Washington, the Seattle, basically, and they grow a complete different variety of elderberry that's blue and has a white powdery flower versus ours being more of a true dark black purple. Right. We grow a nigiri version of the Sambucus elderberry, and they do really good here, but it just depends on what grows on your end.
Yep. But they're everywhere.
Hey, Mr. James.
They're wild here, super wild here. They grow like
most people kill them here because they think it's a hedge.
They do. And what blows my mind. I mean, you almost, once they're established, you almost can't kill them. I get so flustered because there is down the road from us, and I know you're going to know where I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There is a little low-lying area, and I don't know whose land it is. I wish I knew because I would be like, please let me just come get all my cuttings from right there. There, in that little low-lying area, every year during the spring when all
They're
of that
like 10 to
area
15
grows
foot. It's
up,
crazy.
all of that area grows up, and they take like a big tractor and
Mow it down.
whack it down. And then I'm telling you, there's
Yep, Stacey, you're
elderberry
right.
trees that are huge in there. And then every year they like whack them down. And then like the next year they're huge again. And I told Colby, I was like, I would love to know who owns that so I could go get cuttings and stuff from that area. But I don't know who owns the property. I wish we could find out. So this time I
We're at
went.
an hour, babe.
This time I went down into a ditch across the road. It is under a power line, and I do know that they have sprayed that before, but I'm hoping that by the time I grow all of that out, that it will clean itself up from the toxins. But it's the only place that I know in our woods that I can go and easily get the elderberries, because the ones that I know on our property, there's so much briars and just stuff around them. I literally have to drive my side by side up in that stuff and climb on top to be able to get to them. So this time I just went over in that ditch and got my cuttings, and I'm just gonna root those. But it would be nice to be able to get those, but they literally mow those suckers down every year, and it hurts my heart because I'm like, oh my goodness, you don't know what you're mowing down.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Man, Miss Kathy, Granny Karen, y'all are rocking it as mods tonight. Thank y'all for being on because it has been a crazy troll night. So thank y'all. We're glad to be back. It was fun to be here. We won't be here next week, but we'll be here the next. So we'll try to stay back to the schedule. It just was a crazy month. So thank y'all again for coming on. It was fun to just speak to you again and having fun.
Yes. And I saw 2 people mention the storm. So y'all
be careful if you're in the storms. I know we are.
Be a watch. Keep your eyes on the weather, and we're just going to pray that it's not as bad as they're predicting.
And you know, we'd be moving family milk cows to one of the furthest paddocks we got in all this rain. So it's not going to be fun. But thank y'all so much for coming on. God bless.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.